Joining me, still with me, Joseph Scott Morgan, professor of forensics at Jacksonville State University. Dr. Robbie Ludwig, psychotherapist. She's in New York. And joining us now in Los Angeles, Dr. Carole Lieberman, psychiatrist. Great to see you. Dr. Carole Lieberman, haven't gotten your initial reaction yet to learning this news today. What are your first thoughts knowing that someone is now in custody?
It's about time. You know, this has taken so long. It's been so hard on the families and so on. You know, presumably in the more recent days, they were keeping it very close to the vest to not give a clue to this suspect. But you know, my first reaction is, as you know, because I think I said it first on Court TV, that my impression is that he's an incel, you know, an involuntary celibate, someone who it has a lot of rage towards women because they have been rejected over their years from the time they started, you know, being social, asking women out or whatever. And they built up the rage over the years and they take it out on someone. Now, these 4 students were so special, you know, not only were they incredibly attractive, but they were very popular. They were good students. You know, they were the beautiful people, as the incels would say. And this could, whether he actually ever spoke to them or not, of course, it's likely that he maybe did because he went to school so close to Moscow. But even if he never actually spoke to them and just saw them from afar, he would have built up a lot of rage thinking, oh, well, they would never go out with me. You know, and there's years of rage. He's 28 years old. There's years of rage that he has and that I think he took out on well, all 4 of them. The women are called Stacys and the guys are called Chads, according to the incel philosophy. And I think he, you know, took care of it. Now, the one thing that's kind of interesting to find out, well, there's a lot that's going to be interesting to find out, but whether there was a partner in crime because of what he said at the beginning, you know, did you arrest somebody else? Now that could just mean like, is there anybody else under suspicion? Maybe I don't have to take the fall for this myself. Or it could mean that he did have a partner in crime. And he's wondering if that person has been caught. Now, he looks strong enough to have done it himself, but there could be lots of ways that a partner could have helped.
Dr. Carole Lieberman, you know, I look at this guy, 28 years old. Is it possible that he just became fascinated with crime itself and was attempting to commit the perfect mass murder?
Well, you know, it's fascinating that he studied psychology as an undergraduate and then criminology to get his master's, and now was currently in a PhD program for criminology. And he did a research project where he was trying to enlist other criminals to tell him how they felt when they committed their crimes. So perhaps that's where he got his partner in crime, or perhaps, you know, he wanted to find out all this information because he was planning to do it himself, to commit a crime himself, to commit murder in particular himself. And he wanted to know in advance what he would feel like. But, you know, you mentioned, or Robbie mentioned that about his following somebody else, copying somebody else. You know, Ted Bundy, there are some similarities with Ted Bundy because Ted Bundy studied psychology and then he went on to study law, and he went to school in Washington, in the state of Washington. So did Brian go to the state of Washington for his graduate work following Ted Bundy? The difference is, though, that Ted Bundy was a ladies' man. You know, he was a charmer. And as I said earlier, I think that this alleged killer is an incel, so that part, it would be different. But it is interesting that he went all across the country, you know, to study.
Dr. Carole Lieberman, adding to the fold that he apparently works security. What are your thoughts about adding that to this profile of what we're learning about this suspect?
Yes, that is a socially acceptable way of being around things that are involved in crimes like guns or other weapons, or, you know, putting yourself in the place where you're supposed to be protecting people from criminals when really, you know, you yourself have these have these thoughts. I think that the quote, the Aristotle quote, was very telling. I have it paraphrased. An educated mind can be able to entertain ideas and not accept it. I think what he was, yes, it's the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. I think what he might have been talking about there was that he is looking at crime from a logical kind of analytic kind of way, his studies and so on. And he's trying to say, or he wants to tell himself, it doesn't mean that I have to accept it and actually become a criminal.
All right. The countdown, we're in the final moments here now. So